I sat down with a pen and my black leather daytimer and I started writing what I wanted. And I had no idea that it would later materialize into real estate, but I said, I want to meet new people every day. I want to meet people of different cultures. I want to hear people's stories. I want to help people. I need a job that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I said, I don't like open-ended. I want a completion, a full circle.
Welcome back to the Massive Passive Cash Flow Podcast. I'm Gary Wilson, your host. I'm so glad to have you back listening to the show or watching if that's what you're doing in recorded mode. I know it's recorded because Debbie and I are recording it right now. So we've got Debbi DiMaggio on, guys. This is going to be a great show. She's out in California, both San Francisco and LA market. So get ready to take notes. She's going to bring some goods to you. And if you're driving, don't worry about taking notes. We'll send you the show notes. So Debbie, welcome aboard. I appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. It's really exciting to meet you and to hear about your story. I look forward to sharing with your guests today.
Excellent. Well, I think they're going to get a kick out of this. So we're just having an awesome, excuse me, conversation, and I kind of want to pick up where we left off. So let's do this. If you could start us at the beginning, like for example, when I grew up, I was going to be an astronaut, and obviously I got close, by the way, but I didn't get to go
Wow.
up in a flying shuttle. I've been on two shuttles before, but it wasn't until later when I got into real estate. Was that tell us about your story? What was the pivoting moment for you that got you into this?
Absolutely. So when I was growing up, the only thing I didn't know what I wanted to do. The only thing I did not want to do was real estate. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's how it starts. So my dad was in real estate. I now, as I tell the story often, I understand more why. But so when I was growing up, obviously there was no cell phone, there was no apps, there was no DocuSign, there was nothing, no social media. So my dad was always stuck to the phone, stuck to the wall, right, in his office or at home. And his schedule wasn't flexible because he had to be tied to the phone. Now with technology, we can literally work from anywhere. So
Mhm.
I never wanted to be in real estate. He was always tied down. And then I went to Cal, graduated from Cal, and I was 25 and I tried different jobs. And when I was 25, I was just so depressed. And so when I do my podcast and when I'm on someone else's podcast, I want to help that person who doesn't know, they might be going through a new chapter. It could be through retirement. It could be that they're pivoting jobs, or like me when I was a young 25-year-old thinking, oh, I went to Cal. I should have some great aha moment, some career that is just going to make my heart beat. And it didn't happen. And so I sat down with a pen and my black leather daytimer and I started writing what I wanted. And I had no idea that it would later materialize into real estate, but I said, I want to meet new people every day. I want to meet
Mhm.
people of different cultures. I want to hear people's stories. I want to help people. I need a job that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I said, I don't like open-ended. I want a completion, a full circle.
Mhm.
um, and and helping others was so important. And then I also wanted homework. I didn't want a 9 to 5 job. I wanted something where it was meaningful and purposeful. It wasn't like I go do a
Mhm.
task and come home and it's over. I wanted it to be a lifestyle. So fast forward from 25, tried a few different things. And then one day my husband's friend said, Debbie would be really great in rentals. So this was again before Craigslist or any technology. It was
Yeah.
really on the phone, making calls, putting landlords and tenants together. Loved it, did it. I was meeting people. I was meeting people from around the country, even around the world. They were coming into San Francisco. We rented to celebrities and producers and directors who were filming movies, short-term rentals, long-term. I made a lot of great connections. There was a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Mhm.
There was closure. And there was homework because I was always having to figure out, I needed a place for this person or that. So that's how it kind of all began. I did not want, and now our son, Chase, we never said he had to be in the business, and he has now come and joined the family business. But that's how it started.
That's awesome. Hey, what if you don't mind me asking? I'm out in California quite a bit. I've got family out there,
Yeah.
literally from La Jolla all the way up to a little town called Anderson near Redding, right off I-5, north of
Yep.
Sacramento, and Santa Cruz, Santa Rosa, Ojai. I have to ask this because people always want to know what campus were you at when you went to school?
Oh, I was a political science major, nothing to do with real estate, but I was a political science major at UC Berkeley.
Berkeley. Okay, awesome. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
now, so moving forward, you started off in basically matching up tenants and landlords. So really in the leasing business. And a lot of people don't realize, in most parts of the US at least, well, in Canada too, for that matter, um, they usually have a full property management company. You're doing maintenance repairs and leasing's all part of it. But in other parts of the country, particularly in commercial, leasings are often handled separately because of the price point. I mean,
right.
if you really focus on that, and who, let's face it, who wants to deal with toilets and court cases and all that kind of crap? We'd rather just find people a home. That's what we
And
want to do,
people don't realize with rentals, and we shortly after we went into sales, so we've been selling now for 35 years, but what people don't realize when you're in San Francisco, New York, LA, and some of the higher end markets, there's many other places that are high end, but some of those rentals are like a sale. They're, if you get a
Mhm,
month's deposit, a month's you if a rental is 5, 10, 15, 20, $30,000 a month, you're making that
mhm.
much on one rental, so it
Right.
adds up quite quickly. So even though we sell now, we've never given up the rentals because it is very lucrative.
It is, and it's a faster transaction, and that's
Yes.
exactly what to do in New York, by the way. New York City, we do them all day long because they're so easy, you know?
Yes,
It's a
exactly.
fast
I'd
transaction.
love
So,
to move to New York and just do rentals. I mean, and the one thing about
mm,
rentals too that people need to know, if there's people who are agents and they're just getting started, they don't know, some people might poo-poo rentals, but if the thing about a rental is they're not marrying, it's like when you buy a house, it's like marrying someone. It's dating. If you're renting, you're just renting. It's not forever. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can like it, but you're not tied to it forever. So a rental
right.
makes it much less emotional and much easier. And it's fun, and you do get to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. So you're probably dealing, so if you're in LA and in San Francisco, you're probably dealing with a fairly international crowd. I mean, I'm gathering you get people from Asia and, and probably Canada, I'm guessing, because I know when I was there, was a lot of people from Canada coming there. But what if so first off, let's talk about that. Um, are international clients part of your business, not
Not
just an
really,
ownership or
because
rentership?
I'm in the
Mm,
East Bay. So I'm in the over by Berkeley. I'm in the Berkeley, Oakland, Piedmont area.
gotcha.
I'm literally, to give you a visual, I'm looking at the Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Richmond San Rafael, and the whole
Yeah,
bay and Mount Tam. I see it all from my house here. So I'm
it's awesome.
not in San Francisco proper, where it's more
Yeah,
international. People move to the city, they live in San Francisco, and like we did, you move over to the suburbs for schools and community and to raise a family. So a little
yeah,
different.
yeah. Well, I've been there before. I was a trainer for years and traveled all over. And then I would go to California and literally stay there 4 or 5 or 6 months because there were so many places to
Right. There's
teach.
a
And
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that area described there, I've been there. I forget where it was I stayed, but I never forget the pizza I had was probably some of the best pizza I've ever had, you know?
Well,
And then Fremont was south of there, and
yeah.
Danville was to the east, and
Yeah.
Walnut Creek and all that. And
Yeah.
great people. I got people on my have people on my team there too.
Oh,
So
nice.
so I understand you have a mastermind that you run too. Is that in San Francisco and also one in LA, or is it online? Is it
No, so
offline or
there's a few different things. So first of all,
okay?
my tagline has always been, and I also coach. So
Hmm.
I always, when I'm coaching or we're bringing on new agents, I'm always, the first thing I say, other than building your sphere of influence, I say, get out on tour, look at the inventory, get to know your colleagues. Your
Yeah.
realtors are colleagues, not competitors. We work together.
Yes.
There is not competition in that. If I have a listing and you have a buyer, better believe it, I want to work with you, right? So many times new agents and sometimes seasoned agents, until they get it, it's the collaboration with other agents that's so powerful. So I do
Yeah.
many things to help agents. I've written a couple real estate books. So I used to do panel discussions. I wrote The Art of Real Estate. I wrote 52 Ways to Achieve Success in Real Estate. I'm working on a mindset book right now to help people conquer their goals. But for me, it's all about helping others, and it comes back in some way. So I was
Yeah.
doing a panel discussion once, and this agent was like, and it was to a room full of realtors. And he said, "Why do you do this?" And I said, "It's fun. I just like giving back and sharing my expertise. And then it comes back somehow. So it doesn't matter." And he just didn't understand that I wasn't getting a monetary reward for it.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, if you don't understand karma and how things come back and you don't enjoy it, then you won't get it." So I am very tired now, so I'm going to say goodnight to you. But
Yeah.
so important. So realtors, the first rule is realtors are colleagues, not competitors. We work together to get deals done on behalf of our clients. We need to be collaborative and connected and help our clients. It's a stressful
Yeah.
time. So the first thing I'm involved in is a mastermind. So this is a mastermind started by another fellow podcast host. I also have a podcast called Mastering the Art of Real Estate. So a friend of
Mhm.
mine, Sean, has a podcast, and then he has it's called Inner 180, I think it's called,
Mhm.
and Inner Circle 180. And so he started it by having people on his podcast, and then he started this mastermind group, and now it's growing. So right now our mastermind group is people around, agents from around the country. And it's all different companies. It's not just his company, and I'm at a different company than he is. But so what's so great about it, so it's twice a month on Thursday morning, and other realtors are welcome to sign up and join our mastermind. We bring, a lot of times there's a guest speaker. We will talk about the state of the market. I found it fascinating that we were talking to a mastermind group of people from around the country, and everyone was feeling the same way. Homes were taking a little longer to sell. Typically, California market is like everything sells in 7 days. It's a 7 day cycle. Now, of course,
Yeah.
things are taking longer. Some homes that are poised perfectly will sell, others will take months. So anyway, it's really great to have that support with other agents. And then we have great learning. We have different coaches come in, we have different speakers on how to present on
Mhm.
video and different things. So that's a mastermind that I really love. And then we can also, this is the other key thing, we can also, as agents, make money through referrals. You know, now that I'm
Sure.
in the Bay Area, when someone says Berkeley, Oakland, Piedmont, if you don't have an agent here, you're going to call Debbi DiMaggio and say, "Hey, I have a referral for you, and I'm going to pay you a 25% referral fee on no matter what the price point is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million. You're going to get 25% of that." So the other
Mhm.
part of that referral is that I love to connect my clients or friends with agents in other areas that are going to be a really good referral source. So if I don't have someone, I have a way to vet the person that I'm going to refer them to. I literally just got a referral. This was so crazy. So one of my friends, Denise, who is in Colorado, she called me and said, "Debbi," because she knows I have a mastermind and I really emphasize connecting with agents around the globe, not just the country. And she said, "Do you have a realtor in Moab?" And Moab is probably as quiet as where you're from. And it's,
Mhm.
or Moab is Bryce, what's
Yeah.
it, the
Yeah.
Arches National Park. We went
Mhm.
there once, we drove through it. It's teeny. So I said, and so I asked my mastermind, no one had a referral for me. So I went on LinkedIn. I always start my searches on LinkedIn. So my recommendation that everyone has a very strong LinkedIn profile. That's how I vet people. It's my directory of sorts. So I go there,
Yeah.
I'm looking at different people, different agents, and this woman had a really robust, LinkedIn page. So I called Denise and I said, "Here, you should give her a call. She looks like she's on it, like she's keeping stuff up to date." And so they connected, and then a couple weeks went by and they reached out to each other. And then the agent in Moab asked Denise, "How did you find my name?" And Denise said, "Well, Debbi DiMaggio in California, she found you and she referred you to me." I didn't even know her, but I just felt she looked good. So then Danette in Moab referred me a client in San Francisco, which I just closed last week. And she was amazing.
Nice.
And it was like and I was just randomly helping my friend Denise with an agent. I wasn't even going to get anything from it, but And then it ended up coming back. It's a perfect example of how things come back when agents are helping agents. Well, helping anyone, but that's just a perfect
Yeah.
example of how we're colleagues.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you know that you can participate in class every Monday? We call it Monday Night Live, 7 p.m. Eastern, with me and dozens of other investor agents from around the country, in fact, the world. Every Monday, totally free. No selling, no recruiting, just straight up education on anything and everything in real estate. And we have a lot of good guests coming on once or twice a month, bringing in expertise on subjects like how to buy a house with crypto. Okay. How about them apples? What about AI? How's AI affecting our business? How about the metaverse, blockchain processing? We're already using it in title work. So come on to Monday Night Live. Be ready to take notes and ask questions because it's live and engaging, and you get to participate by asking questions and meeting others. So we'll see you there. Go to GaryRealEstateWithGaryWilson.com. Click on the resource tab, drop down, and you'll see Monday Night Live. And in there, you can see one of the most recent classes. But more importantly, you can register for class as many as you want going up to like the end of the year, I believe. So in any case, do that. We'll see you on Monday Night Live. Look forward to meeting you in person. Take care. I love the whole concept. I have a phrase I tell people. I say, look, we're obviously we're all competitors. We're probably naturally competitive to a degree, some more, some less. But in this business, I get it. There's competition out there. I said, however, you can be a collaborative, you can engage in what's called collaborative competition and not combative competition. And I've seen, we
good.
just had one the other day. It was a combative situation. Like it doesn't have to be this way. I told
Right.
my agent, I said, no matter what, don't let yourself get drawn into that negativity. It's gonna you might ruin the transaction first off, but
Right.
number one, number
Right.
two is there probably won't be another one. So you can, it's just like Martin Luther King said, you can only love can conquer hate and light can conquer darkness. Somebody's got to bring the light. Might as well
Right.
be you and like
Absolutely.
take the initiative. So I really appreciate everybody listening. It's just so critical. And I'm going to just elaborate just for a second. When I
Sure.
first started in this business, Debbie, I worked with a lot of investors and they were investing in different locations. And after a while, I realized I can't be going to all these locations. I mean, I can, but I know there's other agents that were doing what I'm doing. There were actually very few, but we collaborated. They were in different brokerages. And I say, Bill, look, you take the guys in the East, I'll just feed them to you. You get that transaction and you just be reciprocal. It's the honor system. I'm not going to come chase you down and all that.
Right.
We found a girl named Tina from California, by the way, Tina Reuters. And she was in another brokerage. And the three of us really did an excellent job. Three different brokerages.
Wow.
Our brokers kept saying, well, why don't you bring them on board? I'm like, they're happy. Why would I
Yeah.
mess with their mojo? Let them be happy. We're working. We got it working. Don't mess with it. We're
Right.
collaborating. And he
Yeah.
just couldn't get beyond the fact that we were collaborating, but everybody was making more money. In fact, that year I ended up outperforming the other. There was like 30 agents in this little brokerage, and I didn't know this how many I was doing. I outperformed all the other agents combined on
Wow.
numbers of transactions. But
Oh my gosh.
a lot of it had to do with collaboration from Tina and Bill. So
Nice.
so, all right, so this is great. So back to collaboration. Now you're working with people in San Francisco and LA markets, but the reach through your mastermind, I'm
Right.
gathering does so anybody in the country can be in the mastermind, is that right? Or
Yeah,
maybe
you just have to sign up and I think there's a small fee now. When we started, it was just kind of grassroots and now there's a small fee, I think. And yeah, and then because you're seeing these people twice a month, and then if you go on a trip, you can reach out to them. I met with someone in LA and then I interviewed someone in Connecticut on my podcast and then met up with someone else in New York. So all of a sudden this big world becomes so much smaller. And so you travel and then you meet them and you just learn so much more and you learn stuff. This one agent in New York had a whole angle on something that was kind of specific to New York, and I thought it was fascinating. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I learned so much from her. And you just get their energy and they're all different, right? I met two people, I think, in New York on that trip, two agents. So that's one of
Mhm,
them. The other, I mentioned LinkedIn, how powerful that is. So
mhm,
somehow on LinkedIn, a gal in Italy, in Milan, where your daughter
mhm.
went to abroad to,
Yeah.
she
Mhm,
reached out to me and
mhm,
she didn't speak English very well, but she started the conversation And then she introduced me, I think, to her husband. And so we have now are collaborating on their listings. They have incredible listings throughout Italy. And so I just got another collaboration with them. They're going to give me a huge split if I was to bring someone to them. And I don't care about sharing it. I just want to be able to sell a property in Italy. So this is a property. There was a stunning one. If you went to my YouTube, Debbi DiMaggio, a beautiful property in Florence, in downtown Florence. This one is in Lake Garda, Italy, not
Yeah.
far from outside of Milan, and it's 3.5 million euros. Beautiful tennis court, pool. It's in a development, but it's a large villa in a development right on the lake. So because of
Yeah.
that connection on LinkedIn, we've now when I go to Italy, I can't wait to meet with them in person. But we have agreements. She sends me the agreement. We sign it. I start marketing it, and you never know what will happen. So it's just so exciting to also collaborate people with people who are like-minded, right? Realtors are all
Yeah.
pretty outgoing. They're social.
Mhm.
They most of them do want to help one another. We're very similar type people, so it makes it really fun. It's really, like I said in my things that I wanted to do when I was 25, it really is a lifestyle because you
Yeah.
travel wherever and we look at property when we're on vacation.
Mhm.
We always want to meet an agent or two when we're on vacation and just learn their market. We were in Cabo. We were going on tour, a beautiful tour. They picked us up by limo and took us around and showed us these beautiful developments that the prices were
Mhm.
insane. I had no idea that how high end it. I mean, there was a house for 60 million being built right now, but the wealth in Cabo has gotten quite high. But yeah, so it's just really fun
Yeah.
to connect with people. So if someone was to call me and say, "Hey, Debbie, I need someone in Dallas, Texas, or I need someone in Florence, Italy," I've got someone. So it makes it really
Yeah.
fun. I love connecting people too.
Yeah. And what's the name of the mastermind?
It is, and I just put it on. I literally just put it on my social media.
Okay.
Uh, I put it on my Instagram. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. And I'll introduce you to Sean. By all means, I'll introduce you to him. And it's called Realtor 180. And it's
Realtor.
Realtor 180. Yeah. Yeah. Realtor
Okay.
180. And it's his podcast is Realtor 180 Show. But I'll connect you with Sean directly.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you
Okay.
on. It's a great group of people and it keeps growing.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like so you got the podcast. Oh, what's your podcast? Let's
So
get that
my
out there too.
podcast is called
Yeah.
Mastering the Art of Real Estate.
Mastering mastering the art.
Mastering the Art of Real Estate, yes. And
Okay.
really, as it evolved, again, it was when I have people on, it's really for anyone who has a service, product, or brand. So yes, it started out with just realtors, but now it's coaches, and there's anyone with a
Yeah.
story who, when
Mhm.
you started, how did you know how did it evolved into where you are today, and how did you find success? So it's really a blueprint for success,
Yeah.
and it's for really, well, it's for anyone who has a product, service, or brand, and of course, real estate agents as well. But it's really amazing. I've met people from around the country. I've had a couple people reach out from me from Australia, and one even from India, which was fascinating, a developer in India. And I had no idea the mansions they have there and these
Yeah.
different cities. And I learned a lot. I felt like I was having a history lesson. It was quite fun.
That is awesome. I think I signed up for your podcast. I was just looking and I don't know
Oh
what
yes,
date I think, but
I gave you. We have to get back on the date. I never heard back, but we'll get you on.
oh, okay. I appreciate you saying that because
Yes.
for sure I remember that my memories. I'm 39, so my memory's not as good as it was when I was 38.
We'll get you a date after our
Thank
podcast.
you. I'll be careful. I might officially nominate you to be in charge of me. So they'll just my mom would be proud. So um okay, so I want to you mentioned some of the books and I want to touch on those too because I want people to realize there are people out there like you that you're like a natural servant leader. You're a teacher at heart. You come from contribution. I call them servant leaders.
Yes, yes,
And the fulfillment is beyond, monetary compensation. Is there sometimes monetary compensation? Absolutely. But the
Right.
fact is, it comes naturally and authentically because of who you are as a person. So, what? Go ahead and let's talk about one of You pick the book. You pick the
Okay.
book you want to. Yeah.
So yeah, and when people say, when people don't get it, it's like you
Mhm.
could a week you and you sound like a very similar person to me, but I
Mhm.
couldn't do all the giving if it wasn't natural because
Mhm.
it wouldn't work. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put that much energy in something, but it's just natural for me to want to help someone and then you do it
Yeah.
and like you said, it does come back. But that's not why you do it. You do it because you generally want to help people or you want to help. If someone's in front of me and they ask me a question, I'll like, are you sure? Because I'll give you some information. I had
Yeah.
someone moved within a week after we sat down. I said, if you really want my opinion, get a pen and paper out and I will direct you. And she moved from San Francisco to LA within a week because I gave her this whole blueprint. And I didn't even know her that well, but just based on what we spoke about. So I coach.
Yeah.
Since I've been in the business 35 years, it's just a way for me to give back. And also when I
Mhm.
coach real estate, I'm reminding myself of the things that I need to do, right? We get so busy in what we do and I have like 4 deals I'm working on right now, and that takes so much time. But so when you sit down with someone to coach them, you're like, oh, well, I got to do the foundation stuff. I got to, you always got to keep working on the foundation as you're working in the business, right? So the
Mhm.
coaching part's really fun. And then the book kind of happened. It was the first book, The Art of Real Estate. I wrote a coffee table book called Contained Beauty, Photographs, Reflections in Swimming Pools. That was because a client said, what do you want to do? You always talk about your kids. And my kids were
Mhm.
getting older and about to go to college at the time. And I was just really sad and depressed, and the empty nest just killed me. So I immersed myself that was this passion project Contain Beauty. Well, then the publisher that I connected with, he was local and he said, you need to write a real estate book. And I said, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe I will someday.
Mhm.
No, you need to write it. So that's how The Art of Real Estate happened, which it really is. It's a thicker book and it really just dissects. You can't have it in buyer and seller and this and that. It's all part. Real estate is all part. There is a buyer, there
Mhm.
is a seller. It's not just buyers and sellers. It's collaborative and you're putting
Right.
it together. So it's a great book to learn if you're an agent wanting to learn, how to, again, it's kind of agent centric. And then the 52 ways to achieve success in real estate, I was called by someone on your coast, the East Coast, from I think Virginia, or no, from Vermont, and they said
Mhm.
they wanted me to write this book. They had a series of book called the Rules Books, and I said, "Oh gosh, I don't have time to do that." They said, "No, you already have the rules in your book," and so they said, "Just extract 52 of them." And then we had to pare it way down because it's a much more of a punchy book. And so that was pretty easy because I had all the information, and scaling down was the hard part. She had to edit quite a bit out, but it was pretty
Mhm.
easy. And it's still today one of the best guides for someone to read because it really touches very simply on the things to do if you're a real estate agent. It's a really
Yeah.
good book. It's small, it's easy, it's not overwhelming. The other book is very thick. This is different, and you can get really great information and you can keep it and read it over again. Not They're all on Amazon. And then I wrote a book called Beauty at Any Age during COVID because age is just an attitude as now I'm getting older. But the
Mhm.
book that I'm most excited about is a book I did not anticipate writing. It started out how things do, accidentally with purpose. That an article was written about me in Unique Homes magazines once, and I gave her my story, and she said, "Oh, everything just seems to happen by accident, on accident with you, but it's very purposeful." And so this is how I embarked on my fifth book. Was I decided to do a TED Talk, and as I was trying to hone down what I wanted to talk about, real estate, the empty nest, mindset, helping others, I was just like overwhelmed with what I really wanted to say. So I started writing. I said, I got to really write, really, and hone in that message. Well, then after that, I had so much content. I said, I need to write a book because I really need to understand what I'm talking about. And the one I was most passionate about is mindset. So
Yeah.
it's called the Mindset in Motion Method. And
Okay.
It's not out yet. It's coming. I'm working on it. Um,
Hmm.
I reversed engineer. So I'm always thinking, I'm always like trying to figure stuff out. And I love quotes and I love just finding inspiration throughout the day. Every morning I wake up and I'm like, what's going to be interesting today? So the mindset in motion method is I got there because I reversed engineered things that I
Hmm.
had accomplished in my life. The easiest one, because it's pretty easy, is I ran the LA Marathon and I want
Oh,
no
cool.
no training, but it's not that zero training. I did it solely on mindset, and I wanted to prove. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't exactly use my method because I didn't want to share it with anyone because I don't want people to poo-poo it. I was turning 60. And I had said I'm going to do a half marathon by the time I'm 60. Well, by March, I had run the LA Marathon. And it was two things. My son said he was going to go into the military, and we're from an area that people don't go into the military. So that was a shock. I didn't know
Mhm.
what to do with that. Then I said, I have to get into the mind of what that means. I researched everything military, Navy SEALs. He was going to do officer candidate school in the Marines. I didn't even know what any of that was. I spent so much time digesting content from YouTube, watching the training, just everything. And then I set out to just start running. I go, what does that mean? He said he wants to challenge himself. So I ran a couple miles here and there, nothing much at all. And then I started running a few 10Ks just by the beach in Santa Monica, and it was flat. So, it was okay. And then I decided, so then I ran a half marathon, and that was a trail run, which was very difficult. And then I ran the LA Marathon, and I only told my husband right before because I said, you need to come to LA with me because I'm going to run the marathon. And so he came with me. He knows I always do crazy things. So he believed, but I have a friend there who's a fitness trainer. He's like, oh, Deb, you can't do that. And I'm like, why? So literally a couple, I had done a few of those races, and my son and I had done a Spartan race, but nothing where I'd never run that far in my life. And as I was getting up to the front line, this young man was sitting with me on the bus to get to the starting line, and he was telling me about his training. He's like, well, I ran the San Mateo Bridge that day and I did this training. And I said, oh God, I'm thinking to
Mhm.
myself, please do not ask me what I have done. Please do not ask me what I have done
Yeah.
because then it's like, oh, I can't take that. And so anyway, I did it. I finished. It was great. The top of my legs the thighs were very sore, but I did it. And it was strictly on mindset. So my point is that people can do whatever it is they want. They
Mhm.
just have to have a positive mindset. So let me break the method down for you.
Okay.
First thing is you have to have a goal. I had a goal. I wanted to run the marathon before I was 60, but of course, an overachiever, I ran it 3 months prior to my birthday. uh,
Hmm.
so you have to write it. You have to have a goal, a dream, a passion. And I just had a little spark the other day in a conversation. I was at a hot and cold spa, and you can also be an addiction you want to overcome as well. And that was something because I had a conversation randomly, so
Hmm.
that's been added. So, and then you have to believe. You really have to believe, you know, get rid of
Hmm.
the negative talk. No is not an option. You have to really believe that you can do it. And then you've got to
Hmm.
internalize it. You've got to feel it. You've got to really like see yourself doing it. You're running the marathon, you're out there, you're doing it, you're going through the motions. How many times, and again, I'm not it's so funny because my book is broken up like an athlete at like a game. The chapters are like the beginning of the game, the middle of the game, and the end of the game. And I'm not an
Hmm.
athlete. Yes, I'm related to Joe DiMaggio. I've done some sports, yes, but I
Hmm.
think like athletes. And so how many times have most of us heard how the athlete will run the play in their mind? So you really
Oh,
have to
yeah.
do that. You have to internalize it. You have to run the play. You hear this time after time about athletes running it through their head a number of times. And then you have to share it, but you have to share it with supportive people, right? I wasn't going to
Hmm.
share the marathon with a lot of people. They'd be like, you're crazy, Debbie, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to hear blah, blah, blah. I was like, no noise. I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. And that's it. My mind was like, I'm doing it. Oh, the other thing, I read also a book on a Navy SEAL who cannot believe how he did it, but he ended
Hmm.
up passing, and the book. And there's no way. I said, if he can do what he did, Navy SEAL is like the hardest thing. And to
Yeah.
to go through that and not and fail the first two times and go back for more pain and having broken bones. I'm like, I can run a marathon. That's ridiculous. So that was another thing, was there are people who have that mindset. So share it with supportive
Yeah.
people because you don't want naysayers. And then you have to activate, right? It's like, okay, I got to sign up for the marathon. I've got to like what prepare a little bit the night before. I've got to fly down to LA. I've got to like have people set up, like whatever it is. So then you have to activate. It's not like I'm not saying this is manifesting. Yes, manifesting is part of it, but you have to take action. You're not going to just sit there and hope it's going to happen and you're going to do it.
Right.
Like you have to put in the work. And so for me, it was more in my mind for that. So most of the things like the podcast that I started, I am so not techie. I wanted to do it. I kind of wanted to do it. Then things just started coming my way. Like just was open to the opportunity and the ideas. And so anyway, I reverse engineered a lot of things to get to this method. And I get so passionate about it because it's like, whatever it is, there's a plan and you can get there. And I just, the other day I was talking to these young men and these men, I thought they were going to tell me they were boxers or mafia. They were all tattooed and stuff, and they were Armenian, they looked a little tough a little bit just because, of their look. But we got to
Yeah.
talking and they said, and so we got to talking and he said, what do you do? I said, real estate. I said, and then I paused and I said, well, actually, I've written a few books and I'm writing a book right now on mindset. And so we really dove into that. And so I said, what do you guys do? And he said, well, I own a treatment center. I said, what kind of treatment center? And he said, it's like Alcohol Anonymous. He said, do you know it? And I said, oh yeah, of course. It's like, it's a known thing. And he said,
Yeah.
really? He said, not in our culture. And they grew up in the United States. They are Armenian, but they do not tell their culture, their people about it because they think that you're weak if alcohol can
Mm,
be powerful over you. So they had never heard of Alcoholics Anonymous. And it's just like something we just know automatically. It's not like even if you don't know someone, you kind of know it exists.
yeah.
And he said he had tried everything to get sober and nothing worked. He had done ayahuasca and all kinds of treatment centers, and this helped. So now he's helping the people in his community with this disease. It's a disease. And so we talked about it, and it was so cute watching how passionate they were about this. One was 8 years sober, one was 3 years, but they were so passionate about it. And we talked about the mindset, and he was explaining how he felt. And it's like, so if you have an addiction, it's the kind of the same thing. You can go through these steps, the mindset and motion method to activate in order to achieve your goal, whatever that is. So I'm just really
Yeah.
excited to get it out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I mean, I definitely, let's at least stay in touch because I want to help you promote that too.
Thank you.
So you're very welcome. So there's a couple of books there. The first one I wrote about real estate was The Art of Real Estate. And then this latest one is the mindset. Hang on a second. The mindset to motion
The
method.
mindset in motion, mindset
Mindset
in,
in motion.
yeah.
Thank you. I didn't finish my there. Well, I'll tell you what, you dropped a lot of golden nuggets of that. I knew this was going to go fast. I just,
I know.
you know, we'll have to do another one. In fact, I'd like to
Yeah.
officially invite you to teach one of my Monday Night Live segments. I teach every
Oh,
Monday.
I'd
It's
love
it's
to.
it's four Pacific, but it's called Money. I kind of cook the juice from Monday Night Football and Saturday Night Live to
Oh, cute.
say something catchy, and it seems to work. But agents from all over the world, mostly U.S. of course, different
Wow.
brokerages. We have investors on and regular business owners because the mindset's a lot that we share a lot in common with
Right.
traditional business owners.
Right.
Um, and real estate investors who are successful do see themselves as a business and not just an
Absolutely.
investor. So there's a lot of that common ground, but I'll have Sugar connect with you on that. But so
Okay.
everybody listening, if you want to take some last minute notes here, just remember the art of real estate. Okay, is one of the books. Another one is the mindset in motion method. So we've got a lot in common there, title wise. Like
Yeah.
I call it. One of my books is the massive passive cash flow method. You know,
Oh,
you
oh, I
know,
have to read that. Yeah.
yeah. And the podcast is, let me see if I can,
Bridger.
um, read my own writing here. Oh,
Mastering.
Mastering the Art of Real Estate. Yep.
Yeah,
And then let's see, and the mastermind, I guess, would be uh, the
that's
same.
inter that's yeah, that's not that's by Sean, and I'll connect you with Sean. It's called Realtor 180.
Real 180. I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Real 180. So there's a lot there, guys, for you to digest. But the big message in the beginning was um, really collaborate with each other. Think of real estate as a team sport. Yes, you might be playing defense, and might be playing offense, but essentially you're on the same team trying to help a consumer across the goal line and win. And they win, everybody wins. Much better to have allies in this business and friends and people you can collaborate with. I'm telling you, I'd like to be part of that mastermind. I did join another one just for a one-time event in Calgary, Canada last month, Debbie, and people I knew from before and some new people from
Oh,
all
nice.
over real estate, different US and Canada. So it really does help lift you up, guys. It'll elevate your business. It'll elevate your mindset. I promise you, you'll be much happier, much more at peace, and you kind of wash away that negativity. So
Absolutely. Well, I want to
yeah.
invite any of your listeners who are in LA. I'm doing another collaborative event where I'm having a speaker come. It's going to be it's a healthy hustle workshop for busy professionals. It's kind of for realtors, but it could be anyone who's in business. And it's going to be on July 28th from 12 to 2 at lunchtime. And
Mhm.
Angelica is flying in from Hawaii to do the workshop. And so again, if
Nice.
there's other agents who are going to be in LA and they want to join, you can find me at debbidimaggio.com. There's no E in Debbie. I was always different, changed my name in kindergarten from Debbie to Debbi. So
Hmm.
debbidimaggio.com, you can find the books and the podcast, and the books are all on Amazon. Mindset book is coming soon, and I'd
Yeah.
love to work on referrals with you and any of your agents, and
Hmm.
definitely would love to teach one of the classes. That would be really fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've got probably half dozen agents right now. I'm helping them build their own teams, and I've helped them build training programs. We've got lenders on the team. I mean, we're in 38 states. I've got two or
Wow.
now three attorneys on the team. They're practicing real estate. They're not really practicing law anymore. And it's a great talk about collaboration, all walks of life, different backgrounds, just amazing. So I'm going to
Nice.
repeat so everybody, if you can write this down, if not, we'll put it in the show notes. But it's Debbie DiMaggio, so Debbi, and last name just like Joe, but Debbie's I think better than Joe, so it's DiMaggio, DebbiDiMaggio.com. You can go on there and look at the books, get other information. So, Debbie, thank you again. And thank you for listeners for listening. And if you're watching in recorded mode, the video, hope you like this. So there should be lots of good comments out there. Oh, by the way, leave a review. We always ask for that. I won't want to belabor the point, but I tell you what, you got a good show today, guys. So please leave a review for Debbie. We appreciate that. Take care of yourselves. God bless you and all your loved ones. And we will see you on the next Massive Passive Cash Flow podcast.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Massive Passive Cash Flow. Be sure to go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.